Welcome into the Instant REAX podcast for week number 4. Here we are, boys, back again. Mitch Stormer and Matt Randazzo. We're joined by head coach from the Princeton Tigers, Ryan Pearson. Coach, thanks so much for being here.
Oh, I appreciate you guys having me. Thank you.
Yeah. So, Mitch, you've been in the command center all night long. Dazzo, you've had a crazy night. We'll get to your whole, evening in a minute here. You're still kind of monitoring maybe the college game, but Mitch, give me some quick overviews on the scores or on the slate tonight, and then we'll get into an interview with Coach Ryan Pearson here.
Well, we're set it up for 2 really big matchups in the track next week now, on both sides of or on each division, I should say. We've got what could be now the unlikely Western Big Six could be decided next week now, which we did not expect. You had some wins in the LLC tonight that I didn't see them coming, but looking back, maybe it's not as surprising. And just a great night of football all across the conferences that we cover. So another great week here in week 4.
Yeah. Well, it was a great week, and I think that head coach Ryan Pearson from the Princeton Tigers would certainly agree. Coach, thanks so much for being here. And I think, man, it's been a kind of a weird start for you guys. I think of anybody in our area, I think that your first 2 games were the hardest 2 out of the gate of anybody we cover. Top to bottom, I think you faced some really quality opponents. You come up short in those. And then when you're itching to get on the field, you can't against Sherrard. How much were your kids just looking forward to getting back on a football field and kind of, finding their stride again? It's been a weird start.
Definitely. We were certainly, not used to starting out 0-2. That's not something that we've been accustomed to. And, last week was definitely a different kind of feel for us. We had a great week of practice, and literally after our Thursday practice, my AD came out, Mr. Olson, and told us that our game against Sherrard on Friday was going to be canceled due to, I think, hand, foot, and mouth going through their program. So, that was hard, being able to break that news to our kids. But, so proud of our kids. We're pretty young, truthfully, coming in. And I think 17 of our 22 starters that we have, going into week 1, that was the first varsity experience that those kids have ever had. And so, for us to rebound the way that we did, really is a testament to our kids and the resiliency that they have and just how much fight that our kids have. So super proud of our kids. Probably the best week of practice that we've had, with this group. And the results kind of speak for themselves.
Yeah. Mitch, you had your eyes on this one a little bit throughout the night. What do you got for Coach?
Yeah, I had it on early, and boy, that was a bit of a track meet there, Coach. Must have felt good. Must have felt good to let the boys loose. Casey he was either right at 100 or just over 100 in the first quarter. So probably good to see that offense clicking like it was tonight.
Oh, absolutely. We really, we kind of felt that we were pretty one-dimensional. The first 2 weeks of the season. And so one of the things that we really wanted to stress to our kids is making sure that we were very balanced. And so we worked on our passing game quite a bit. And, I thought Gavin Lanham, what a tremendous game that he had tonight. Quite a few receivers, had great receptions for us tonight. Was able to use Casey, Ryan Jaggers, Abe Longville. We had a couple sophomore kids that were able to get their first reception of their career tonight. So, it was just a great all around win for us. I thought we played really well offensively, defensively, and special teams. And again, it's a testament to our kids. We can only call the plays. They've got to execute them.
Coach, talk. Oh, go ahead, Matt.
No, I was just going to ask, Coach. I think we might be burying the lead a little bit when it comes to the fact you beat Kewanee. It's such a great rivalry. Yeah. I saw the victory celebration afterwards. The trophy stays in Princeton. It's such a special rivalry, and Greg and I and some others did like a rivalry poll during the summer because well, we were bored, and we did like some rankings, and it's one of the best in the state. Just talk about beating that team and what it means to you guys to get that done tonight.
I think, what does it go back 127 years, I think?
Yeah.
Quote me if I'm wrong, but it's obviously one of the coolest rivalries that I've ever been a part of as a coach. Both schools are, I think, are very tradition rich, and anytime that these two teams step out on the field, you kind of throw records out the window, and it really is a special rivalry. And I don't. Maybe I'm biased, but I don't know too many rivalries that have a trophy. About like what we do. It's pretty special.
Coach, you weren't coaching for all of those 127, though, were you?
No, sir. No, I was
All
not.
right, just double checking.
Hey, Coach, not only do you have the trophy, which a lot of rivalries don't have. Mitch and I are pushing big time for rivalries to add a trophy. But, man, it's the biggest. It's the most legit trophy, too. Talk about what it means. That can't get old every year to see a new group of faces, and you get to hand them, or your AD gets to hand them that trophy. And it's big time. I saw you posted the pictures from several years ago, over the years of kids holding that trophy. And I've been there for that celebration. It's a ton of fun. It can't get old, right?
Oh, no question. Seeing your kids celebrate on the field, with that trophy in their hands, it's pretty special. And it really goes back, quite a few years. And I kind of saved those pictures, of all of our kids and the different groups that we've had over the years that got that opportunity to host that trophy after the game. And so, honestly, I can't be happier for our kids because, it's like I said, it's been a rough start, but, they just continue to go back to work each and every day, and we're getting better, and that's, as a coach, that's all you can ask for. And so certainly happy that the trophy gets to stay in Princeton.
Yep, absolutely. Coach, we're seeing the highlights courtesy of Dan Pearson from Fellowship of Christian Athletes. He was out there walking the sidelines and nice enough to share the highlights with us here. Tell me a little bit about your offense this year, because Mitch noticed early in the season that you got, maybe two guys lined up next to each other, both kind of holding their hands out like they're ready to take that snap. That's an interesting wrinkle, an interesting dynamic. Tell me about when you got a weapon like Casey Etheridge and, the quarterback that you have. There's things you can do to make yourselves kind of, dangerous coming out of that, backfield.
Yeah, I mean, it's single wing. It's something that's been around, since the 1920s, or something like that. I mean, it's a dinosaur of an offense. It's something that I kind of grew to love, when I was the head coach at Canton. And we've got two really good backs, Casey Etheridge and Gavin Lanham, and it's kind of a two-headed monster that we have back there. So, we wanted to make sure that we built around the strengths of our kids, and obviously we've got two really good kids that we can throw back there. So, again, we, wanted to be a little bit more, than, I don't know, open up our passing game a little bit more because, we were pretty one-dimensional in weeks 1 and 2. But, again, with a young football team, we were a little bit behind on the learning curve. But again, testament to our kids. They continue to kind of stay focused as we put their new tweaks in and kind of our new offensive sets that we have going on to just kind of utilize some of the strengths that we have. So very happy that we were able to, show we do have a passing game.
Yep, love it. Mitch, what do you got for Coach?
Well, Coach, the game is over now, but have you given any thought to your prep for Monmouth Roseville next week? Certainly that's a game that could decide that division. They've been looking good all year. This should be a really, really fun game, the way that you played tonight especially.
Well, Monmouth Roseville is a very good team. Obviously Coach Adolphson does a great job with his kids. And, last year they beat us pretty good. We went over to their place and, I think it was 31-3, last year on their homecoming. So, we've got them coming into our place this time. I think this is the first time that Mom has been to our place, I want to say, since maybe 2018. I mean, it's been a long time. I think we had to travel to Monmouth Roseville, 7 straight times. And so it's
What
kind of nice.
gives? Who scheduled that?
Well,
Come on.
Jeremy kind of made a joke with me that I might as well buy an apartment in Monmouth. Because it seems like we're over there.
Did you lose a bet? What in the world?
Yeah, he thought I needed a condo over there. So I'm happy to get them to come back to Princeton for sure.
Yeah. Matt, you got anything for Coach?
No, just congrats, Coach. Just we kind of said, I think everybody on here said that after 2 weeks, you guys were one of the best 0-2 teams in the state, and maybe 1-2 teams in the state, and maybe 2-2 teams in the state right now. So I know it felt good to get those guys back out there and back playing football once again. Keep things rolling. That's going to be fun next week. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, absolutely. Our kids are looking forward to it. We're going to enjoy tonight. Tonight was a special win for us, so we're going to enjoy it. But at the same time, we're going back to the drawing board because we know we've got a tough opponent coming up. And, obviously, like you alluded to, conference implications are on the line. So, that's why you put in all that time and that effort in the offseason to get an opportunity like this. So we're certainly looking forward to it.
Yep. Well, hey, Coach, we really appreciate you taking the time. Congrats on the win and keeping that trophy in a safe place. Where's the trophy go when it sits all year at Princeton?
Right out so everybody can see. I mean, it's right out in the main trophy case that we have in our lobby. And, any basketball game, any volleyball game, we make sure that's right out front.
There you go.
I was waiting for Coach to grab it from behind and just like shit. It's like back there somewhere, isn't it, Coach?
No, I actually left it in the office because it was kind of comical. Some of our kids were carrying it in. They're like, Coach, man, this is actually really, really heavy. And I said, yeah, I'm glad you're carrying it, not me.
I've seen a couple of your players almost dump it over the top when they pick it up. So I'm glad it's safe tonight in the office. So
absolutely.
All right, Coach. Well, good luck the rest of the way. I'm sure we'll be in touch. We'll be talking to you. I appreciate you jumping on.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you guys for having me.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
All right, so there we go. Head coach from the Princeton Tigers, Ryan Pearson, with the big win tonight. We're joined, Kyle Kampmeyer jumping in. He's in studio. Here we are. Hey, Matt Randazzo, I need you to do me a favor. Send a text to Mike Morrisy. Let him know he can jump in from the Moline Maroons. They got the big win tonight.
Wow.
We'll hear from him as well.
I didn't know we were having the hottest coach of the Quad Cities on the show.
Well,
this is exciting.
I was walking the sidelines in Moline tonight, and so we wanna hear from him. Mitch, are you ready to do some scoreboards here? I tried in a frantic pace to get all of our scores up and rolling. We might as well go to the Western Big Six if I can find those scores. Let's see. Nope, that's the LLC, so we're not going there. Let's see. It's a work in progress here, everybody. See, this is why I need the labels the way
Just
that
pick any one of them.
There we go.
Yeah, there we are.
There we go. The Western Big Six. Give us the rundown of the Big Six, and hopefully we got head coach Mike Morrisy on the horn soon.
All right, so you had quite an upset here. You had United Township leading 21-3. Sterling scored the next 46 out of 53 points in this game. Sterling wins 49-28 at the Soul Bowl. You had Galesburg leading 14-9 at the half. I believe that score is up to 28-9 in favor of Galesburg now in the third quarter. You had Moline getting the big win over Geneseo, 28-7. And then Quincy sets the all-time Western Big Six record for most consecutive wins, now sitting at 17 with a 53-6 win over Rock Island.
There we go. So it's Moline getting the win, 28-7 over Geneseo. We thought going into tonight this might be the marquee matchup of the evening. Moline gets the job done, and here he is, the head coach of the Moline Maroons.
A handsome fella.
I already knew Dazzo was going to jump in and say it, so I didn't even do it,
And that's why I love having Matt on these things. It really helps me feel better about myself, regardless of what happens on a Friday night.
I'm here for you. Michael, is that your name? Why is it Michael?
Brother.
Why is it Michael? Like, are you incognito tonight?
Well, that's my full name. Only my mom calls me that when she's upset with me, right? That's it.
I like it. Congrats, Coach.
So, Coach, tell me about, the
Thank
game
you.
tonight.
Yeah, this is a good one.
Yeah, tell me about the game tonight. It looked like early on you guys really took control, and, you were finding ways to move the ball downfield consistently in that first quarter, in that first half, and really kind of set the tone.
Yeah, I mean, I thought up front we kind of took control. I think that was the biggest thing. And you knew this game was going to be a fast game. Both teams are pretty run-oriented. They're a physical team. They're a disciplined team. So, for us to start fast, which is something that we tried to get on them about, to try to put them behind the sticks, maybe force them to get out of their comfort zone a little bit offensively, that was important for us. And our guys responded and did a great job.
What do you guys got for Coach Mitch?
Yeah, it looked like you guys started fast, scored on your first 3 possessions, and really your defense took over from there.
Yeah.
We know the weapons that Geneseo has, but back-to-back weeks, and really all season, your defense has really played well.
Yeah, they've been incredible. I thought our game plan and our preparation defensively all week long was really solid, and obviously those kids delivered. That's the biggest thing, but it was physical. Our kids brought a really high level physicality, and obviously Geneseo matches that with what they do offensively. So for us to really, again, put them behind the sticks, put them in 3rd and long situations to get them out of their comfort zone, I thought that was really the key, especially early on. Little complacent, at least offensively in the second half, but felt like defensively we just kept us, in a good position, and those guys really did a nice job.
So, Coach, I'm not sure if you've seen scores around the Western Big Six, but
Yep.
Did Sterling grab the win tonight, Mitch? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that I think, on paper, I think that's an upset based on what we've, seen throughout the year. So
Yeah.
you got the win over Sterling a week ago, and now they, defeat United Township. This league seems like it's it's wide open. There's every week.
And that's what we talked about at the beginning of the season. We talked about that when we met, obviously in August, like anybody can beat anybody on a Friday. Like that's the crazy part about this conference right now, and the balance of things and just how it looks. If you don't show up and compete, or if things start to kind of momentum wise, don't go your way, the other team's going to capitalize. And Sterling's a good football team. We talked about it all last week. And it was back and forth. They're good. I mean, they're talented and they're scrappy and they're well coached. So that's just what our conference is right now. And it's going to make it for a lot of fun here the rest of the season.
Coach, you mentioned real quick, Greg, Coach, well coached. I think every night in the Western Big Six, I mean, when you look at, you might look on paper and say like, United Township's favored in that game, but on the other side, Coach Schlemer just wins Western Big Six games and all over the conference. You had a coach tonight and a guy really well in Coach Furlong. Kind of talk about that, because you're preparing for teams, but you're also preparing against really good coaches night in and night out in this conference.
Well, and that's the crazy part, with Matt, and I think he's a tremendous football coach. Obviously, he's been a good friend of mine for a long time. You never know how they're going to line up schematically. You never know, kind of what the different things they're going to do. And that's what makes it a challenge. It's not like you show up on a Friday and you're like, oh, I know they're going to run this set defense. I know offensively, this is the only things they're going to do. There's always a wrinkle. Every coach in our conference will have a wrinkle or something else that they've worked on that they've held, for certain teams, held back for certain teams. And I think that's what makes it so competitive. And that's what makes it a lot of fun, is that these guys are really good week to week at prepping for whatever they're going to see. And that's why it's always so competitive.
Coach, tell me a little bit about, your offense. And I admit that I am not somebody who's going to jump in and play defense against your offense, because as a photographer, I was getting faked out several times. So tell me about your offense. And, it seems like every year you develop that depth, right? Like you got multiple guys that are going to be able to run the ball. And obviously you have a great offensive line. The Godfather's Pizza from Silvis offensive line of the week. And
yes.
I'll go on.
Without question.
And you also have a quarterback in Case and Ponder who has that kind of quarterback smarts and really seems like a very confident quarterback leading the way overall. And I didn't even mention Nolan Ducey, who looked really good catching passes today. So tell me about your offense, Coach.
Yeah, I mean, we are very fortunate. Our offensive line has been the catalyst for us, year in and year out. Those guys are grinders. Obviously, we are a wing T based offense, which is, almost obsolete around, the country at this point, but our kids buy into it. And honestly, they don't know any better and they don't care. That's the cool part. Like, they don't care what we do as long as we are successful. And when you get a kid like Kaysen that comes in with his skill set, I mean, he's one of the best sophomore quarterbacks in the entire state, in my opinion. So when he can come in and kind of help us expand, some different personnel groupings and try to, stretch the defense horizontally as much as anything else as well, and it makes it fun. So our backs have done a great job. But I mean, we have guys week in and week out that want to step up, that want to be, the guy to kind of help contribute, and that makes me.
Yeah. Dazzo, you got anything else for your buddy here, Mike Morrisy?
No, Coach. I mean, obviously, we can't let you go without talking to you about next week. I know you love that. You get a big victory, and then you got to talk about next week already. But obviously, Quincy set the Western Big Six record with 17 straight conference wins tonight. How do you prepare? How do you get ready? And I know it's a program that you respect the heck out of right now. Two really good teams next week.
Yeah. No, they're very good. And obviously Rick's done a tremendous job down there. Their whole coaching staff does a tremendous job. And they're, you think that they drop off because they lost all those seniors, but it's a culture thing now. Like, those kids down there expect to win. They prepare to win. They're well coached. Obviously, when you make the trip down to Quincy, it's always just a different element. So, we can enjoy this tonight. And that's what we talked about our guys about. Like, hey, enjoy it tonight. Enjoy homecoming. But come like Sunday, when all that stuff starts getting sent out to all you guys, it's time to revamp and reset your mind and kind of get ready for the next opponent, because over the next few weeks it doesn't get a whole lot easier, to be honest. So these guys, our kids know that, and they're used to the schedule and the in conference play, and we're gonna have to do a lot to prepare for them. That's completely different offensively than what we saw tonight.
Where are you at right now? Are you walking around the field? Did your wife kick you out of the house? Like, no, exactly what's going on?
We're having a coaches meeting at Mulligan's here in Coal Valley.
So, gotcha.
I stepped outside so that I wasn't being disturbed here on the inside.
I love a coaches meeting after a victory. I bet you those are fun. Those are fun, I bet.
They're important. They're important to have, and this one was a pretty good one so far.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Tell those knuckleheads we said hi.
Oh, you know I will.
Is Anthony Frakes there? Is Tony Frakes there?
You know what? Frakes dipped out. He lives on the other side of the river. So okay. He's got a long way to go. So, and the little one at home, I think he's just going home to be a good dad tonight.
All right. Well, tell him congrats. I saw him on the sidelines tonight.
Yeah.
Him and I go way back, so that's great. All right. Well, Coach,
I will for sure. Guys, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
All right. We'll talk to you later, Coach. All right. Well, hey, let's stick in the Western Big Six here. And we got another guy jumping in. He knows a little bit about the Western Big Six, and he's covered a lot of winning in the Western Big Six over the last, 2-3 years now. Matt Schuckman from Muddy River Sports. It's your debut in the 2025 season, which it's been far too long, my friend. Welcome to the show.
Dude, I am so honored to be here. This is an esteemed group. I mean, I should bow down to all of you guys.
Jeez, I don't know about that.
I mean,
what's up, Shuck?
How's it going?
It's good. So, Shuck, I've been thinking about it all day, and I think when we start talking about, so Quincy gets the win tonight. They've won. They've set a record for the most consecutive Western Big Six wins. We've talked to you over the years about Quincy football and kind of where it's been and where it's come from. Can you believe that we're sitting here talking about a record for consecutive wins from the Quincy High School football program?
From where it was when I was growing up, sitting in the stands, hoping to be a Blue Devil, to where it was when I was in high school, to what I've covered for the last 27 years now. No, to be honest. I still remember having the conversation with Rick Little. My wife, who was then my girlfriend, I don't think we were engaged yet. She was living in Chicago, and I was driving back to Quincy, and I was on the interstate going around Bloomington, and I was on the phone with Rick Little, and he was up for the job, and he was asking me, "Do you think I can win? Do you think it's possible?" And I said, yeah, I always felt Quincy was a sleeping giant. It needed the right person to wake it up because they always had talent. They just could never get any depth. They never could get, the kind of kids out there that, you'd have kids going to Division I schools to play football, and they'd be the team would be 1-8. It's like, this doesn't make sense at all. Rick Little got it going. The QYFL with the kids league changed everything dynamically.
Yeah. Actually, but tell me a little bit about that, because we've referenced it in the past, but there really was, what was the youth setup before that, and what did Rick Little really set up? Because I think that is critical.
Yeah. Okay, so if you go back a lot of years, the Quincy YMCA had a tackle football league. And a guy who I respect to the nth degree, and his name's Ray Hincamper, he's passed on now. He was the impetus behind that. He ran, him and his brother and family ran the Quincy YMCA Football League. And a lot of those kids, to be honest, went to Quincy Notre Dame. Some went to Quincy High, But that's where the feeding ground was for the two high school programs. When Rick Little came in, he says, "Why don't we have a feeding program? Why don't we have why aren't the grade schools having kids playing football and that kind of stuff?" So he started the QYFL, Quincy Youth Football League, and now it is beyond crazy. And if you come out to Flynn Stadium on a Friday night for a Western Big Six Conference game, you'll see kids, grade school kids all over the place wearing their Blue Devil jerseys from the QYFL teams. Kids want to play football. Kids grow up wanting to be Blue Devil football players now, where it had forever been you wanted to be a Blue Devil basketball player.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's great. I mean, I think we've talked about kind of obviously the success and kind of the talent that rolled through with Braden Little and with the kids that were around him at the time, but to see kind of this team keep winning some games is great. And I think success builds success. And I think we've heard that from Western Big Six coaches.
Yeah.
And they recognize it too.
And what you have is you have a program in place now that take nothing away from that group that graduated last year, the Braden Littles, the Tykel Hammers, the Jarius Rice Juniors, they had an unbelievable talent. Kids that are now playing in college. I mean, Braden Little's the starting quarterback at Quincy University for an NCAA Division II team out of the gate.
Yep.
And was the GLVC Offensive Player of the Week after his first college game. I mean, he's special.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
But the program is in place to continue the success. You can plug in guys. Are they going to be quite as good as a Braden Little or a Tykel Hammers or a Jarius Rice? No. Or maybe you get another Jyrell Brock to come along at some point. It's the crazy part of this is when you go back and look at numbers and know the depths of where Quincy football was, to think that they're now the record holder, it's mind-boggling at times.
Yeah, that's kind of where I wanted to start that conversation, which is my first question, because I just think about it. The record is one thing, but to look at the context of the record really kind of puts you in a whole different mindset. So
I don't want to go all stockpile on you.
Please do. We love it.
But so Quincy had 2 Western Big Six losing streaks. And it's interesting. I believe, and I'm trying to find it on my computer here, and I'm not having much luck at the moment. But it was, I believe it was 32 straight Western Big Six losses and 36 consecutive Western Big Six losses. The only team that was UT had a longer streak. But you think 2 of the 3 worst losing streaks in Big Six history are for Quincy. And now it holds the record for most wins consecutively. It's nuts. And here's the other thing. They've won 17 consecutive Western Big Six conference games. At one point in time, they lost to Rock Island 23 consecutive times.
Wow. Yeah.
It's just, again, the depths of where Quincy was at times. And here's the other thing to think about. Quincy won 3 of the first 4 Western Big Six conference titles. They went 5-0 in 1971, 5-0 in the league in 73, and 4-1 in 74.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then fell off the face of the earth practically.
Huh. Man. Well, it's yeah. Mitch, what do you got? What do you got from Matt Shuckman here on the horn?
Well, that's a lot of a great history. But this year's Quincy team, like you just talked about, lost a lot of talent.
Yep.
They bring in Hunter Shuckman to be the quarterback here, and after that first week loss to Boonville, not only has the offense seemed like they've been clicking a lot better, but that defense has only allowed 13 points in the last 2 weeks. So, what is it about this Quincy team that makes you believe that they could win the Western Big Six for the third straight year?
The play up front. You got a starting left tackle in Todd Smith, who is a former Western Big Six Conference wrestling champion, who is already committed to play football at Lindenwood University. You've got a starting middle linebacker in Ben Shelp, who's committed to play at Butler. So you've got two Division I players there. Todd Smith is also playing defensive line quite a bit. You've got a kid in Jackson Moore, who was the starting center last year, moved over to right guard this year, who's probably the strongest kid on the team. His dad's a professional weightlifter. The kid's just a beast in the weight room. So up front, they're just really good, and it gives me the sense that they can handle a Moline up front when Moline wants to run the ball. Will that happen? I don't know, but I get the sense that they might be able to be a team that slows one of the other team's running games down. And they're getting better at the secondary. They're getting better in the skill position spots. Again, they're not as dynamic in the past, and you look at tonight's score and you go, well, they put up 53 points on Rocky. Well, let's face it, Rocky's not great right now. So, yeah, they put up some points, but their bread and butter is going to be up front, and their bread and butter is going to be in their defensive front seven. And if they can slow somebody's running game down, and next week we'll see. I mean, Moline comes to Flynn Stadium. Can Quincy slow Moline's offense down? If Moline runs for 250, 300 yards, no. But if they can control the line of scrimmage, they got a shot.
Yeah, that's going to be the challenge because, Moline can run. I saw it tonight firsthand. They really established themselves on the ground, and Geneseo really struggled to find answers for them in that first half when I was there. So, Shuck, were you on the truck tonight?
I was.
With Camp Point Central?
Yes. I went out to Camp Point, and I'll be bluntly honest with you guys. I probably watched maybe 3 minutes of football tonight.
Okay.
They beat Beardstown 62-0.
Okay.
They had a pick six right out of the gate, and it was over. And they scored 29 seconds in on a pick six. It was over.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're talented, they're good, and all that. I ended up spending more time, to be honest, talking to people in the end zone, and the Camp Point cheerleaders did a fundraiser tonight, and they sold packs of football cards. So one of the local photographers that takes action shots, they got with him, and they made trading cards for all the Camp Point Central football players and coaches.
Yeah.
And the little kids just went nuts. I had them coming over and showing them to me, telling me who they wanted to trade for. And then they were like trying to get set up to get autographs afterward. That was more entertaining than the football game.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. That's great. Camp Point is a place I got to get to. I got to see a game there at some point.
Come down in 2 weeks if you want. They play Brown County, which beat Unity Payson 47-0 tonight.
Yeah.
So you got two state-ranked teams going head-to-head at Camp Point on October 3rd. The truck's going to be in the south end zone. You can come saddle up on the tailgate with me. And
all right. Oh, man, that is so enticing. I got to see what – I got a freshman kicker that has a game probably somewhere. I got to figure out where I'm going to be that night. But
understandable. Well, you're always welcome to sit on the tailgate with me no matter where I'm at.
I love it. Anybody else got anything more for Shuck? We got another Western Big Six coach waiting in the lobby here, so it's a big night tonight.
I would say for Shuck to be on the lookout for maybe an invite next week too. That's a
Yep.
big game.
Yep.
That
Yeah.
could be what decides the Western Big Six. The way that UT lost tonight kind of opens the door up a little bit more.
Yep.
So it'll be a
And-
huge game there at in Quincy next week.
Yep, and I'll be at Flynn. I'll be doing a Shuck on a Truck afterward, depending on how things go, who I get on. Who knows? I might have to reach out to Morrisy, and if they win, tell him to come over and jump on the tailgate with me.
Yeah.
Shuck on the truck is the greatest invention in media history. No, I'm being serious. Like the Chris Dewar and I talked about this. It's so simple and yet so genius all at the same time. I wish Dazzo rhymed with something, you know. I mean, it doesn't. So I love it. I love it, Shuck.
I know you guys got a lot to get to, but a real funny thing is I have basketball coaches wanting to know if we can create a mobile tailgate that can be wheeled in to basketball gyms and have me sit on a tailgate like on the baseline and do like a fan of the game who can sit with me.
It's beautiful, and all you have to do is sit. It's amazing. It's like you literally don't have to do anything but sit. Brilliant, Chuck. Brilliant. I love it. I love it. So
Thanks, fellas.
all right, buddy. We'll talk to you soon.
I'll plan on hooking you up next week with info.
I love it.
Matt Shuckman from Muddy River Sports, thank you so much. I love your insight on Quincy football. It's great. We got more Quincy football to talk. We got more Western Big Six football to talk about. It was a huge night. So thank you so much, Chuck. We will be in touch, no doubt about it.
Thanks, guys. I'm going to go watch you while I do my work.
All right,
I love it.
Sounds good. All right, let's let in head coach of the Sterling Golden Warriors, John Schlemer. He's in a dark hole, but I hear him, I think. I see, oh, there he is. There he is.
Like that was like a wrestling promo right there.
That's
All
a
of a sudden, you
tremendous
like pop the
entrance
light
to
on
REAX.
and congrats,
How great
coach.
is my hair look in this?
Hey, oh,
Thanks,
you look like you're in the witness protection program, for being honest. But
I might be. No.
hey,
Thanks, guys. Thanks.
Well,
Hey.
Nick Welch could be looking for you right now. That might be the thing that's going on. So congratulations, my friend. That's a wild night.
Thanks. Yeah, it was. And they got
So-
a good team. Go ahead. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? all
Yeah,
right?
you're
Yep.
great.
no, coach, I was gonna
Yeah,
say,
so-
I talked to you a week ago, and you made no bones about it. The United Township was gonna be a challenge, right? Your boys had to step up, and
Yeah.
there was gonna, you're gonna have to figure some things out. What did you see tonight? Because man, your team came alive. That's got to be exciting.
Yeah, it was. In the second half, I mean, the drive at the end of the first half was so big for us to be able to get points, because really we were down 21-3. They had the ball. They came down, they came out throwing, and we got a big stop there. And our punt returner got us in good field position. And our quarterback, was able to make a great scramble and get in the end zone to end the first half. So we had a little momentum going there, and just talked about it at halftime. We came out last week against Moline, scored the first possession of that second half. And that was, we talked about how important that was. We did it. And then from there, man, it was on. Our kids they started to believe defensively. Coach Payton he was on them, man. He was on those guys, and our kids they responded. So, it was honest to God, it was a feel that we felt back 6, 7, 8 years ago on the sideline when things started to turn. Yeah, we kind of looked at it like our kids, they weren't gonna back down, and they didn't. And, when they turned, just the momentum, the excitement, the belief on the sideline, it was fun. It was fun for a young group of kids to see that, because I think tonight they really.
Oh, you froze up a little bit there, Coach, but we got the point. We got the gist
Yeah.
of it. Mitch, what do you got? You were following
There
along
you
with
go.
this game for sure.
Yeah, Coach, like you talked about, that second quarter really turned things around. You were down 21-3, and then your group scored 46 of the next 53 points, including 25 in the fourth quarter. So just a tremendous effort from your quarterback, Brady Berlin, and really from your running back, Maurice De La Cruz, had a really big night. I think it was 13 carries, 127 yards, and 3 touchdowns. So you had some big plays last week against Moline in a loss, but this week the offense really looked like it was clicking.
It did, and for us to be able to sit there and just kind of, find our way as a young team. It's hard, man. It's hard. Our kids are growing up, and tonight that was a good team. I mean, Jesus, they are physical on defense and offensively. I mean, anybody watched the first couple minutes, you might have thought it was going to get away from us because they did a really good job scheming of what we do. But offensively, I think our staff, Coach Campbell, I told him after the game, it was probably, honest to God, I think it was the best game he's ever called as an OC. I mean, he kind of had it working, man. He understood the inside, outside. We were throwing the ball with some success and able to get to the perimeter a lot. So he did a great job.
Dazzo, what do you got for Coach?
Coach, just kind of talk about we talked before the season, and it's a young team, and you always said, like, even at the banquet, it's not an excuse, it's just a fact. You just mentioned them growing up. Can you talk a little bit more about that? Because yes, you can grow up by years, sophomore to junior, junior to senior, all that kind of stuff. You can grow up during the year as well. Did your team grow up in a big time way tonight?
I think so, and I think that's attributed to week one. We go down and play a tough Metamora team. Week 3 last week, I mean, Moline's really good, and we did good things. And it's hard to, when you're not having the win-loss column matters in this sport more than a lot, and kids want that feel of, they want to feel wins, and they want to feel all the hard work that they put in kind of be rewarded. And as a coach, it's hard to sit there and just kind of, hey man, just wait, it's coming, because you can see the good things that are happening. So, with I think everything you hear about today's kids, it's a credit to our kids that they're able to buy in, and they're able to get coached, because we coach our kids hard here, and they allow that. And so it was fun.
Does a Saturday evening with Greg Armstrong turn the tide? Is that something that might be a season changer, since you guys, got to hang a little bit last week?
I'll pay for gas. I'll pay for whatever else you got to do to come back. I mean, I don't know. Newman's not at home tomorrow, but no. I mean, whatever it is, I'd like to give him more credit, but I think it's a lot more to do with our kids than it does with him and I.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I mean, could we give a little credit to Kyle Kampmeyer and myself? Kyle's on the call here. Kyle, we talked to Coach last week, and maybe I would say maybe it was a pep talk we gave you, Coach, that really inspired this whole thing, I think.
Yeah, I think we sparked a little bit of excitement for Sterling to go over there and get the dub. I mean, that was pretty awesome.
Hey, man, whatever y'all did, I appreciate it. Maybe it sparked something, and you're welcome back to Sterling, God's country, anytime you want.
Coach, hey, thanks for jumping on. Even if you're a little incognito there and you're, again, we always joke, did your wife kick you out of the house? Is that what's happening here?
Well, tonight it might be okay. I might sleep outside anyway. It's a beautiful night. It stopped raining, so I ain't going to go to bed for a while. That was an exciting. We're gonna get back to work and hit some film tonight.
All right. Well, hey, Coach, love it. Thank you so much for being here. Great win. What a story. And that's the heck of a way to win a game on the road. So congratulations. Enjoy it.
Hey, thank you guys for doing what you do for high school football and our program, everybody else around the area as well. So, except you, Randazzo.
Perfect. That's a great way to end that segment.
It's good because he's muted.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
I didn't even know I was muted.
Sorry, I'm trying to control the audio here. So.
No, I don't. No, I think I muted myself, which is probably smart. Which is probably very smart.
All right, we're gonna go from the biggest schools we got to the smallest schools we got. We had a huge matchup in 8-man football. Kyle Kampmeyer is here from NUICfootball.com. Give us the brief description of Milledgeville getting the win over Polo, and we got Coach Roble on the horn here. He's about to come in, so it's a big night in 8-man football for sure.
Yeah, it was a great game for sure. I mean, we've been talking about it for a while since Milledgeville was able to beat Amboy in week 1. We basically said that Milledgeville was the number 1 team, and tonight they got to take on Polo in a great battle of the blacktop. And, that first half really lived up to the billing. Actually, most of the game did. It was probably halfway through the fourth quarter before Milledgeville started to pull away. They were able to score to take a big lead, and then they got an onside kick and immediately got a pass there that was able to extend that lead to a bigger score. And then later on, they punched in another one for that 3-score differential. And, it was always exciting when these two teams play. Milledgeville definitely, in my opinion, put themselves right where we expect them to be, at the front of the IAFA tonight. And right now, it's theirs to lose, in my opinion.
Yep. All right. Well, without any further ado, we welcome in Coach Roble from the Milledgeville Missiles. Coach, thanks so much for joining us tonight. Huge matchup in 8-man football. According to the NUICfootball.com polls, number 1 versus number 2, and Milledgeville comes away with the win. How'd you feel about your team? How'd you feel about the performance tonight, Coach?
It was a fun game. Thanks for having me, guys. I thought our guys maybe didn't come out great. We weren't super crisp to start, and Polo was playing really well. It was a back and forth first half. I felt we controlled it most of the first half, but Polo was one play away from getting back in it. And then right off the bat, the second half, we kicked off and went to Mumford, and perfect guy you don't want it to go to. And he went down the sidelines, and I thought he might get in, but we stopped him. But gave him a short field. I don't know, it was inside the 29, I think, 30-yard line or something like that, and gave him a short field, and they punched it in. And then I thought they sort of got the momentum and controlled the third quarter. I was told that we only had one possession in the third quarter, and so they were doing a nice job shutting us down. But it was a sort of an ugly win, but a win's a win.
Yeah. So, Coach, we're seeing the highlights here. You had a passing touchdown to Spencer Nye to put you up 14-6, and then you get the 2-point conversion. Tell me about the 2-point conversion call, because that was a pitch and then a throw, which kind of it seemed like it was the perfect call for the perfect time.
Yeah, actually, earlier in the game, I talked to Coach Roble. I'm like, hey, we hadn't practiced it in a while. And I asked him, like, hey, you feel comfortable calling that? And he said, yeah, it's in our playbook. I think we know it. We got a bunch of guys with experience. Even though we haven't practiced a ton, we knew the guys could pull it off. I didn't know he had called it at that point. He was sort of holding his back pocket. We talked about it going into half. But Connor Johnson made a nice play. And Evan Shank was able to get some separation from the defender. And, that was a big play, because we had gotten in and then got a penalty. And we're able, we had gotten in on a 2-point, then had a penalty, and it was a long holding call. And so we still executed. And then next thing you know, man, it was 8-6. Then the next thing you look up, and it was 22-6.
Yeah. Coach, tell me about, it seems like year in and year out, you saw it last year at the end of the year, where you have a lot of athletes that you can put in multiple positions and kind of move them. You had a quarterback switch kind of at the end of the year going into that state championship game too. Tell me about kind of what you look for in your athletes and kind of what you look for in your offense to get the right players in the right space.
Well, we're pretty blessed with some great athletes and some kids that work really hard. We're not a big team. You come watch us, you'll see us in the highlights. We're undersized every game, but we got kids that have heart. And we talk about it all the time. We want guys to be able to play multiple positions because with our depth, we have to have guys be able to know everything and be able to do everything. And we got some guys that have bought in, and when it's their turn, all year last year we ride Kyson Francis throughout the season, freshman quarterback, and then make that switch in the playoffs. Some kids would pout, but Kyson didn't. He was in it still. And now he's a sophomore. He's got bigger and stronger and more confident. And I'm liking what I'm seeing out of Kyson.
Yeah. I'll bring in Kyle Kampmeyer from NUICfootball.com. Kyle, what do you got for Coach Roble?
Coach, I mean, obviously you're always getting up for the big games. I mean, you guys do a great job of getting up for any game, really. But this game, like you said, did you feel like the team was a little tense early on, and that's what led to it? Or I mean, Polo did put up a great defensive effort in that first half, and I was kind of stunned that it was 8-0 at halftime, and it kind of started to remind us of the 2021 state championship game between Polo and Orangeville, with how low scoring that game was. But tonight was really a perfect night. But yeah, you guys came out, you guys got that first drive, and then you guys were able to get the lead later on, and Polo just didn't really have a response until, like you said, that opening kickoff to the second half, but then in the fourth quarter, you guys really kind of put the gas pedal down and finished it off.
Yeah, I think we maybe were a little tense. I think there was a few plays early. Kyson didn't look in the pocket; he was a little unsettled. Polo's really aggressive on defense, and they bring it. And so he was under pressure a few times, missed a few plays. I think we were several times just fingertips away from having a big play. But you're expecting that out of Polo. We told the guys all week, hey, Polo's going to make plays in the backfield. They bring a lot of pressure. They got a good defensive line and linebackers that are aggressive. So they're going to come after us. And maybe the kids didn't realize that was going to be the case. And when that started happening, tensed up a little bit. But one thing I really like about this group is that they respond. We were week one. We threw a pick six as we were going into the end zone against Amboy, and they turned it and returned it 90 yards for a touchdown. Then the very next offensive snap, we fumble. And I thought, oh, boy, here we go. But guys responded, and the guys responded tonight when they had some adversity. And I think that's going to really serve this team very well in the long run.
Mitch, what do you got for Coach?
Well, Roble, it's good to see you. It's been a while. You got a Morrison or an Augie helmet back there behind you?
Yeah, you too, man.
Are you? Yeah,
I'm actually at Kyle's house, Leach's house.
Oh, okay, so probably not
that.
There.
Are you guys old teammates or?
Yeah, no, not there. I like your Mitch and I. Oh, Mitch, years ago, I helped coach when you were in 8th grade. Is that right?
Yeah, I remember going. I think you were at Augie. I think you hosted some, like you brought some of us to a game once, I think. So yeah, Robo's a few years older than me. So, but back to your current team now. This season you've beaten Polo, you've beaten Amboy. I mean, what's the sky for this team? I mean, how do you repeat what you did last year and keep the momentum going?
Well, that's I think at the end of last year, our guys were still hungry. We had a lot of guys back. We felt maybe we didn't, Amboy played a great game last year in the state championship, and they were the better team. But I know our guys were hungry and not satisfied. And so I think that's been motivating them. Now the key is we just got to keep getting better week to week, which I'm seeing out of the guys. They come to practice, they're not satisfied, and we'll find plenty in this game film. If they're feeling good about themselves, being 4-0, we got plenty of things to point out why we should be feeling great about ourselves. A lot of things to fix, and they're a motivated team to keep getting better every week. So that's huge for us, and I think another big factor for us is we got to stay healthy. We're not super deep, so I think that's sort of most small schools are in that boat, especially an 8-man. So we have some guys that we have a lot of talented players. And we have some young guys learning and step up, but we have to stay healthy down the long run. And I like the trajectory of this team if we can keep replicating what we've been doing week in and week out as far as our preparation. Maybe not just the game on the field, but what the guys, how they approach the game behind the scenes, so to speak.
Well, Coach, it's got to be exciting to be taking that battle for the Blacktop Trophy back to Millersville, right? Tell me about that. The end of that game and knowing that your kids grab that trophy.
Yeah, it was a special moment. Polo, they left it behind the school, and one of their coaches had to run over there and get it. I think he, Coach Scholl, about had a heart attack running over there and get it. But I don't blame him. I would have too. I think they left it over there, not intentionally, but that was a focus all week. We talked about we beat them in the playoffs last year to go to state, but they also beat us in regular season and get the trophy back. And I know the kids, the seniors, they wanted to get that back. Who knows? Maybe we'll see them in the playoffs again. But one of my messages to the guys this week: hey, all the seniors, you're here and you're healthy, and you got Polo. This is your chance. Go out and get that trophy back. And they made it tough on us, but our senior leadership came through, and we're able to take a nice bus ride home with that trophy back in our laps.
Yeah. Well, hey, Coach, thanks so much for being here. And I know Kyle Leach is hanging out behind there, behind the camera there somewhere. And I always appreciate, he's got like a Milledgeville, like a museum back there with the 2 old school helmets, and it's a beautiful thing.
Oh yeah, and there's more over here. You can't see them all. I mean, I don't know how many he has down here. I think he has more than I have in my locker room, to be honest. Yeah, Kyle's a great sport of the team, and thanks for having me on, guys. I love what you guys do for small football. It's great for 8-man and small schools all over this area. It's great to be how you guys promote the kids and promote the programs. I appreciate what you guys do, and I'm happy to be part of it.
Love it. Thank you. And a huge shout out to Kyle Kampmeyer and NUICfootball.com. What he does is a big part of what we do as well. So, hey, Coach, thanks so much for being here, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Yep.
Thanks, Robo.
All right, so there we go. We got, 8-man football there. We also got some small school football in the Lincoln Land Conference. Let's see, here he is. Head coach Jade Nord from the 4-0 Stark County Rebels. Coach, we've texted at length all the time. I think this is the first time you're ever on the View from the West podcast. Oh no, we can't hear you.
You jinxed it, Greg.
Let's see. We can't hear you, Coach. He's trying to figure out technology. It's okay.
We'll talk amongst ourselves.
Yep. Hey, I know a man who can talk. Oh. Coach, can you hear it? No,
it was Brian's his airport hangar. Boy, you missed out last week, Mitch. Like, get ready for it. Unmute stockpile. Ready for this? Go ahead.
There it is. All right.
Hey, boys, what are we talking about here?
Well, we're trying to get a hold of Jade Nord. He can't figure out how to get his audio, so we'll get there in a second.
I caught some of their game tonight on NFHS networks, and they were very impressive.
There we go.
Strong offense, strong defense, and also with Milledgeville. Milledgeville punted Polo deep into in their own territory a couple of times in parts of the game that I saw. So very impressive performance by Milledgeville tonight in the battle on the blacktop.
Let's try one more time here. Let's see. Coach. Hang on. Coach, anything? Oh, we got nothing.
This is the only thing that's gone wrong for Stark County all year.
Yeah,
so if that's the case, Coach, that's okay. We're gonna get it out of the way for you, all right? Like, if that's the worst thing that's gonna happen, that's okay.
Greg, pull up the scores. We'll give Coach a little bit more time to try and figure out that mic issue.
Yep.
Pull up the scores. I'll go through it.
All right, here we go. Let's find some scores. Coach, keep working at it. That's the LLC large side. Read through those first, Mitch.
Okay, so in the large side of the LLC tonight, you had Farmington getting the 35-0 win over Illini West. Knoxville beat West Hancock 35-28. St. Bede and LVC, that's a game tomorrow. You had Princeville with a bit of a surprising 35-14 win over Elmwood Brimfield, and Macomb took care of Brill Valley 42-16.
And let's see. Let's get to the Lincoln Land small side of things. Nope.
Wait for it.
There it is.
There we go. All right, you had Rushville Industry getting the big win over South Fulton 54-6. Anwan Weathersfield won 42-0 over Havana. Again, we talked that Princeville win over Elmwood Brimfield. You had A-Town beating United 59-30, and Coach Nord and the Stark County Rebels defeated Roval Williamsfield 33-0.
Coach, any luck here? I don't think we're getting him.
I'm trying to think what it would be, Greg. We might as well engineer this thing out in front of everybody. What would you?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how to help on the fly.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Coach, hey, Coach.
Coach, are you on a phone or a laptop? Try to switch. Do the other one. See if it works. Or close out and try to log back in. See what happens.
There you go. That's the old Tony Buck. Turn it off and try it over again. It's the old engineer. Power cycle that baby.
Yeah, try to reset it. See what we get.
All right, Greg, while we wait, go to Big Northern. I don't think you guys did that last week, so let's go ahead and make sure we do that this week.
No, we did. We missed Big Northern last week. We'll
the
get to it.
the guy who took the week off is already throwing shots. Unbelievable, Greg.
Yeah. Well,
we haven't even on track yet.
And I'm trying to. Here's the thing. I don't have. Let's see. What do we got here? That's LLC large.
Last I saw, Allman was trailing Galesburg 49-25 with about 3 minutes to play.
Okay, thank you, Stocking. Let's get into the Big Northern. Give us the scores, Mitch.
All right, Byron took care of Stillman Valley 63-9. You had Winnebago getting the win over Rockford Lutheran 53-12. Seneca and Genoa Kingston was a really good game. Seneca pulled away and held on to a 35-28 win there. Oregon took care of Rock Falls 49-0, and Dixon defeats previously unbeaten North Boone 48-0.
So Dixon looking good there in the win over North Boone, who was undefeated at the time. Oregon gets the win, expected maybe against Rock Falls pretty convincingly, 49-0. Seneca defeats Genoa Kingston in the non-conference game there. So not a whole lot of surprises here in the Big Northern. But I think you can clearly see Byron's kind of the top team.
Yeah, it
Dixon's
sets up
right there.
Yeah, it sets up Dixon and Oregon next week. That should be a good game. We had a note in the chat there that Dixon's defense has only allowed 3 touchdowns all year, and I'm pretty sure those all came to Byron. So
that's fair.
Despite that loss, the Dukes are really playing well.
Yep. All right, let me see if I can find the NUIC scores. Nope.
So close.
Nope.
This has never been this hard in the past, Greg.
No, because they're not labeled correctly. So, okay, I do not have NUIC scores right now. I need to get them.
Hang on.
Let's head over to the track and chat about the track. I think we've already
Whatever's
talked
on
about
the screen. Let's talk about that.
I've got the NUIC finals.
Hush, Stockpile. You speak when you're spoken to. Come on.
I've got NUIC finals, so
we got the track pulled up. Let's talk.
All right, we talked to Coach Pearson earlier. The Princeton Tigers won 63-12 over Kewanee. You had Monmouth Roseville cruise to a 42-21 win over Mendota. You had Hall defeating Sherrard 18-15 in that contest. On the Rock side, you had Stockpile's Riverdale Rams defeating Mercer County 43-8. Newman with the win over Orion 40-14. And Rock Ridge defeated Erie Prophetstown 29-12 to set up next week's contest between Rock Ridge and Newman.
Doc, are you pretty pumped about your Riverdale Rams here?
I got to listen to the game on WRMJ with Ty Taylor, who did an excellent job. And I was a little worried when Mercer County went up 8-0. They went an 8-minute plus drive, and you get worried about fatigue and a long drive at the start of the game. But Riverdale came back and their defense turned it on. And I don't think Mirko had a first down for the rest of the half after that first drive.
Yeah. All right.
Strong performance.
Might have Jade Nord back here. Let's check.
Drum roll, please.
Yeah.
This is the beauty of the instant reacts, folks.
Now we have no audio or no. There he is.
Oh, no. Coach? We're trying so hard.
Like we said, if this is the worst thing that happens to him this year, we're gonna be okay. They're gonna be all right. So.
I think we lost it. All right.
Yeah, guys, you look at that track. We kind of look ahead to those big matchups next week, and boy, you're looking at a Rock Ridge versus a Newman. I was really impressed with Newman tonight. I saw at one point, I think it was 20-0 at the half. I know that Orion scored a couple touchdowns late, but Mitch, that's one of those things that it's hard to slow down Orion, and for them to do what they did defensively sets up a fascinating matchup next week, just down the road from my place in Edgington.
Yeah, well, we talked about it on your show there on Friday. I thought that this matchup for Newman's defense to face that kind of high-powered Orion offense would set them up and prepare them a little bit to face Kohlen-Schweigen next week, and they certainly passed the test. I know Orion had a kickoff return for a touchdown by Owen Voorhees called back. I don't remember at what point in the game that was, but
started
yeah,
the third
it was
quarter.
Third quarter? Okay, so the game was a little bit already, well in hand at that point, but just a good performance, another great performance by Newman. Rock Ridge seemed like they were off this week. We were getting updates throughout the game, and certainly there's a lot of games that were affected by weather tonight, but if you're Rock Ridge, I suppose you'd rather have a sloppier game the week before than the week of. So I expect Rock Ridge to be back and firing on all cylinders in that Newman game next week.
All right, let's see. Coach Nord, are you there?
I think we're going in the wrong direction.
Coach, are you there?
It's not for lack of effort. That's what I'm going to say. It's not for lack of effort.
Yeah.
By any stretch of the imagination. I will update, guys. I don't know if you guys mentioned this, but a final from Alleman. It was 14-9 at the half. Final score in that one, courtesy of Alleman baseball coach and all-around good dude, Thomas Smith, 54-22. I think you mentioned, Alleman kind of ran out of gas. Galesburg had 4 one-play touchdowns in a row, which is pretty impressive late in that one as well. So, and probably the biggest story there was Thomas Smith made his debut as the PA guy, because I wasn't unable, and I got text message after text message about what an amazing job he was doing. So I think that's the big story out of Alleman tonight. That game started late, like really late, like 8:35 late. So
did it really? Okay, I drove by there when I left Moline. It really hadn't started yet at 8 something?
It was 8:35. I think he might have left a little early. I had a high schooler just come rolling in here maybe 5 minutes ago. So
wow.
Yeah, so it was a late start there, to say the least. So I want to head back. The track and Stockpile kind of talked about, Riverdale, really impressive. That's nice. And hats off to Sherrard. I don't know if we saw the score up there. I was looking at my phone for a second, but they lost a close game tonight, 18-15. So after not being able to play last week, I think they led up until about 2 minutes to go in the game. So it didn't end up the right way on the scoreboard, but that program's been through a lot over the last 2 weeks, and for them to play the way they played and battle and almost get a victory on the road, hats off to Coach McGuire and what they do. And I'm trying to continue to talk more and more because Stockpile's got his pen raised. So the longer I talk, I think the more annoyed he gets. So I am done. Go, Stock.
All right, in that game, Aiden Radcliffe caught a 59-yard touchdown screen pass with 76 seconds left to go. That was the deciding touchdown. And according to the broadcast of Ty Taylor, he said during the Riverdale broadcast that Carter Brown was ejected on probably something that was not ejected, that was a bad call.
Yeah, we got video of that as we were chatting here. It was a stiff arm on a kick return, and they kicked him out for that.
Kicked him
Now
out?
it looks, yeah.
What was the preference? Well, like, let's just, even if it wasn't a stiff arm, why were they kicking him out? What they think that he did?
Probably
like an
throw
open
a punch.
palm, like an open palm punch. Yeah, like it's a physical stiff arm, but it's not malicious, and they kicked him out.
Was it in the second half, or well, he's got to sit a whole game anyway.
He's got to sit all next week. He's got to sit all next week too.
Can't that be like reviewed or anything?
Even if they have it on video.
IHSA will not overturn a game ejection. They Rockridge tried to have that 20 years ago.
Yeah, but has that changed in 20 years though?
No,
Stock?
it has not. The IHSA backs the official call.
Just because your wardrobe hasn't changed in 20 years does not mean rules don't change.
Well, I bought new pants this year, so. But
yes.
Anyway, the IHSA, that is the one thing.
A little bigger size.
The IHSA will never overturn a game ejection by an official.
Nothing will make me happier than them overturning this somehow, some way. Please, Matt Troha, somebody overturn this just so that we can make fun of Stockpile. No, that's unfortunate because I think Sherrard has a winnable game next week, and obviously he's one of the best players, if not the best, but obviously the best player. And they don't have the numbers. You know, I mean, one player is a big difference when it comes to kind of a short roster already to begin with. So, but yeah, hats off to. Do we have that video? We don't have it to show, do we?
I wouldn't show the version that we got.
Okay, I didn't know what you got.
Every officials clinic that I've been to, they tell us if you're gonna eject somebody, you got to be sure, and because the IHSA does not overturn ejection.
All right, Stock, I believe you.
I don't think it's a good. I think from what I'm hearing from Mitch and you and what I heard from Ty, I don't think it was a good call. I think it was probably a bad call. And if you're gonna eject somebody, you got to be sure. And I don't think they were sure.
Yeah,
it's a shame for both Carter Brown and for Sherrard.
Yeah,
Monmouth Roseville winning tonight as well. Not a surprise, but that's a really good game next week as well too for them to get the. Oh, look at that!
Can we talk about this?
Look at that!
Time is everything.
Why does he look still mad? He looks like he's still mad at you, Greg.
Well, he might be. I mean, it's fair. That's fine.
Yeah.
But look at Jeremy Adolphson coaching in the View from the West retro helmet gear.
He wore that for the whole. Wow, that's awesome.
Yep.
That's outstanding.
Hang on, Dazzo. Cover here. Hold on.
Uh-oh. Okay, we got to talk amongst ourselves. Quick, Stockpile, say something.
What's he got?
Look at that! Hey, hail to the pioneers! Cheer them along the way.
They got
so there you go.
out.
There's your shirt.
Yes!
I need to get it to you.
You don't need to send it to me. I hope we can see each other sometime in the next couple. Maybe it's an excuse for a beer or lunch, something along those lines.
That works. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Is Jade back again?
He's trying.
He is relentless.
Attempt number 10.
This is why Stark County has success, because Jade Nord does not take no for an answer. I love this.
Yep.
No quit.
No quit at all.
I think he's already out again. I don't even know if I see him anymore.
When he does quit. Let's go to the NUIC. Kyle's been sitting here so patiently. We talked 8 minutes a little bit. Let's get to the NUIC.
Yeah.
Stocking, give us the scores. Go for it.
All right, from the NUIC, we have in a game that was called because of lightning and a long delay. Lena Winslow beats Dakota 38-0. Forreston outlasts Morrison 36-21. Dupek rallies from an early deficit. They beat Galena 52-20. It was Stockton beat Fulton 49-0. And Eastland Pearl City, they rallied from a 2-possession deficit to beat Fenimore of Wisconsin 30-18.
Kyle, your reactions from the Friday night in the NUIC. Oh, no.
Now Kyle's muted. Oh, my God.
Hang on a minute. Hold on. Go ahead, Kyle.
You got me? You got me?
I got you.
All right. So, I went 5-0 this week, so I'm pretty stoked, you know. Actually, I think I went 9 well, I'm 8-0 right now. Orangeville and AFC play tomorrow, but yeah, no, this pretty much went the way I had anticipated. EPC Fenimore definitely was a lot closer before EPC separated themselves. Really, the most impressive game to me was Dupek's win over Galena. It was tight early, but Dupek definitely pulled away late in that one big. Once again, Morrison puts up a great fight. Unfortunately, come up short, but that was one hell of a game there for Forreston and Morrison. Lena Winslow, yes, winning 38-0. You know, not surprised there. That probably would have been a lot worse had it not been called because of lightning. But yeah, you know, very, very impressive showing. Obviously, Stockton, I've already put it out there on Twitter, you know, and I'm going to put it on your show. But if you're in the AP and you're voting and you don't have Stockton as your number one team in Class 1A, I don't know what games you're watching, but Stockton is clearly the front runner right now and showing very well.
And I'll follow that up with, if you don't put Lena Winslow at number 2, I don't care about records around the state. I don't care. Lena Winslow is number 2 and Stockton's number 1, period. That's it for me.
We need Shuckman back for this conversation.
Yep.
Give the CPC a fight.
Yeah, CPC's there, right? They got a great team. There's no doubt about that. But I know a couple things that I don't know have been released quite yet, but I think they're going to be in a little bit of a hurt. I mean, they'll get through, but, you know, I think they're missing a couple key players that are going to hurt what happens down the road.
Yeah. All right, well, Jade Nord officially threw in the towel. We tried. They had a great win tonight. They're 4-0. And a Stark County team that was kind of a question mark coming into the season because they had a lot of unknowns. They're now sitting at 4-0.
I think they're going to get to 5-0, and then they're going to get to Week 6, play Ann Arbor and Weathersfield, and I think both those teams are going to be undefeated. So that'll be.
I agree.
Yeah, and
And Stark County does the back half of their schedule is a little bit more loaded than what they've had so far, but.
Yep.
You know, we did have questions about Stark County this year, and we thought that I don't think we thought they'd be 4-0, but I do believe they'll get that 5th win and they'll make it into the playoffs this year. But again, those last 4 weeks with Ann Arbor, Weathersfield, Rushville Industry, Princeville, and Knoxville, that's a tough site to end the year. But so far, it's a quick and a nice start for the Rebels.
Yep. Stock, what do you got? Give me your thoughts here.
I was the one thing that I saw a lot in the Three Rivers was a lot of blowouts, which I didn't see really happen. I think of all of the 6 games, 5 of them were double digits. Only one was a 1-possession game, and I think the next closest was a 17-point game with Rock Ridge. I was sort of shocked that Rock Ridge didn't really blow out Erie Prophetstown like many thought they would. Which I think shows that Erie Prophetstown, even though they're 2-2, is still a decent team. I'm very shocked at Sterling pulling the upset at UT. They were down, I think, 11 points in that game. That should have been.
It was 21-3.
21-3. Okay, even worse. And it would have been very easy for Sterling to throw in the towel. but John Schlemer's teams don't quit. They came back. They showed resiliency. They showed heart. And Molene's going to be a team to be reckoned with. They're 2-0 in the conference. Quincy rallied from being down 6 to Rock Island. They're 2-0. Rock Island, they had a chance to go up 7-0. They fumbled the snap, and after that was Katie bar the door. And I was really
Katie.
There it is, Katie.
And I was really shocked at how Galesburg came back in that second half. They were down 14-9. They win, what was it, 50?
No, they weren't.
22?
No, they weren't.
Oh, they were
up
down 9-8.
14.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they were up 14-9, but they still scored 40 points in the second half, 40-13 against the Pioneers. So it's Galesburg could. What are they now? 2-2. They play Rocky. They could be 3-2. 3 wins. You know, they could. There's a possibility for Galesburg to scrape together 4 wins, and the Sioux said that there will be 4-win teams in the state playoffs. Maybe Galesburg's numbers are going to be high enough for them to snag a bid at 4 and 5, which would be amazing.
Stockpile, you talked about the Western Big Six. Can you imagine a show that has like John Schlemer and Mike Morrisy and Shuckman like all on it, like back to back to back? Can you imagine a show like that?
I would think that it's got to be.
It was right here. It was right here. It was amazing. It was amazing.
I was on air at the time, so I can only imagine how great a show it was. I mean.
Oh yeah, that's right. You do that one little thing. That's cool.
Stock,
Yeah.
what was
I'm
your,
just kidding.
What was your stockpile gold tonight? What'd you have?
I'm working on it right now.
He's working on it. He's been sending them out.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
So you'll just have to wait and see. But I will say this: Molene's down 12-2 on their last 14 Western Big Six home games.
There you go. Well, hey, talk about Moline, because I don't think I showed my video yet. And of all things, I had video, didn't show it when we played Moline highlights. So.
Rookie.
Of course.
Look at this.
Oh wow!
So that was
Ooh,
on a
look at
4th down to keep the chains moving.
That was like Iowa. That was like Iowa State back against Iowa. Stockpile.
And
I
it
know.
sets up the touchdown.
Was that Zach Sierra with that catch?
I'd have to go back and look, Mitch. I don't know for sure.
It was 17, but I don't know numbers.
But of
Morrissey
course-
wearing a Moline shirt, but not a Tecmo view from the West Moline shirt.
That's true.
Sad.
That's true. So, anyway, yeah, I didn't get a chance to show these Moline highlights earlier. There was a lot happening early in the show. So,
We're
anyway,
still learning.
here
We're
we
still
are.
learning.
Here we are.
I think Moline had over 250 yards rushing again. I mean, obviously, that's just it's going to be a fantastic, because like Shuck said, their front 7 in Quincy's really, really good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, something's got to give next week.
Yep.
A really fun matchup down there.
Yep.
What do you think next week, Stockpile? Quincy? What are you eating?
We had some brats on the grill.
Oh.
Are you eating a brat, Stock?
Yeah, with some
That's-
cheese also.
Whoa!
Stock, I feel like
Expanding
that's
your palate,
expanding your
Stock.
palate.
We'll see how well I do with it over the weekend.
Are you worried? Like it might repeat on you?
No, I'm worried about my mouth. Probably have to go to.
This is a
the
kid show,
dentist.
Stock.
Yeah, no,
Huh?
we're good. We're
It's
good.
a bratwurst. You're eating a bratwurst. My goodness. My family brought home pizza. Oh, it was awesome.
There you
That's
go.
why I disappeared for a second. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
I think with the Moline Quincy game, the question is, can Quincy build a lead on Moline? Moline can run the ball, and they can milk the clock if they get ahead. But if Quincy takes the lead and Moline has to throw the ball, I'm not sure Moline's passing game is
Here's the
at
thing.
I don't think their passing game is efficient enough to come back against Quincy.
I understand what you're saying, but I agree with what Coach Morrissey kind of talked about earlier in the show. Kason Ponder's a really good sophomore quarterback. I know he's young, but he's super talented. I don't think he's had to do that in order for them to win. I understand your concept. I understand what you're saying. The premise makes sense. But like, I'd be interested in it, because I do think that maybe if Moline their ceiling probably goes as high as maybe their sophomore quarterback can go, if that makes any sense. They can win games running the football. Defense is really good. As he continues to develop, I think their ceiling continues to go higher and higher as he gets more snaps under him, gets more games under him, all those kind of things.
I will say being there tonight, when they went to the air, Ponder to Nolan Ducey was automatic. They were making that connection, and it was passes off to the flats, passes off to the end, and they were making that connection. So I think that when you get in those big games, the passing is there. They just haven't, they haven't gone to it a whole lot yet. So I'm interested.
That goes back to the efficiency thing. I'm not saying he can't do it.
Yeah.
But I'm just not sure about if they have the efficiency to do it.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's
because you're always negative, Stockpile.
No.
Hey, Greg, what did you think of the new turf? Had you been over there since?
No.
Since the
it's
thoughts?
Cool. Yeah, it's cool. I mean, it's looks really nice, looks really sharp. I will say, turf is great, but once in a while, the grass looks cool. The grass ambiance feels good, But no, I'm not gonna fault anyone for getting turf because obviously you can practice on it, you can play on it. And nobody, it goes through. So
that grass over at Browning got beat up really easily. So no, it makes sense. It makes sense.
Mitch, before we wrap up tonight, thoughts on week 4 leading into our, next week's show?
Yeah, I think we're going to have a lot to talk about next week. There's big games across all the conferences. I think the track will be decided next week in both divisions because I think after that, what each of those teams, whether it's Rock Ridge or Newman or whether it's Princeton or Monmouth Roseville, the rest of the games out for all 4 of those teams, I think are winnable. So I do believe we will have the track division champs determined next week. I think there is a very strong possibility that the Western Big 6 gets determined next week too. Quincy still has some big games left on their schedule, as does Moline. But again, with UT falling tonight, that opens the door. And we could be looking back in a couple weeks and saying that the Moline-Quincy game certainly was what determined the Western Big 6 this year. So outside of that, Kyle, I wasn't critical on Dupec. I just made the mention that, they were 3-0, but their opponents were 0-9. And then they go out and win by 32 against a Galena team coming off hot against a win over EPC. I mean, is this new look Dupec team? We talked about, the rest of their games is just a gauntlet. Their first step, they passed. What has this team kind of showed so far that they might fare a little better than maybe I have given them credit for?
I mean, I haven't really been able to get a chance to watch them. I was going to head up to Hazel Green tonight originally to watch them play, but decided to go to the Polo Milledgeville game instead. But, you're right. This second half of the schedule for Dupec is going to be really, really tough. You got EPC, Byron, Stockton, Lena, Winslow, Forreston in there. And Forreston's a team we really haven't talked a whole lot to. Well, they've gotten to a 3-1 mark here. And, just sitting here taking a look at what they're doing, Dupec definitely has the guys up front. They're able to run the ball very well and effectively. Like you stated, I mean, I was surprised by the score separation that they had tonight as well. I figured Dupec could win the game. I had them pretty much like a 2-touchdown favorite, but to win the way that they did was really impressive, especially late in the game. I think that EPC is going to definitely give them a challenge, but at the same time, I think Dupec's going to have a little bit more team speed than what we've seen out of EPC so far. Dupec should go to 5-0 next week and pretty much clinch that playoff spot before they head to that week 6 matchup with Byron. And week 7, really, I projecting things out, I got Dupec going 6-3. So we're going to see them get into the playoffs, but it's going to be tough. I mean, can they pull off an upset over a Stockton and Lena Winslow? I think they would be able to at least play in those games. But they're going to have to get much better line play. I mean, their line is better by far this year, right? We've talked about that a lot. But Stockton and Lena Winslow by far have the best lines I've seen across all of 1A so far this year.
And real quick, Kyle, Greg, I feel like we'll probably talk about this more on our Tuesday show. Kind of the news that came out of the IHSA today with some enrollment numbers coming out. What in our area, Kyle, will we see that maybe trickle down to? Certainly now Newman becomes kind of the bubble team on 1A. Is there anything else that really our area might be affected by that?
Not really a whole lot. I mean, really the biggest things that I was looking at was like Wilmington, for example. You know, originally when the original numbers came out, they were put into the 3A state rankings. They had a 432 enrollment. Then all of a sudden, everything adjusted. They were down to 406. And now with the current adjustment, they're at 400. So they just had a bunch of teams jump in front of them to really pretty much solidify their spot in the Class 2A field now. Yeah, Newman's really the biggest thing. Arthur Lovington, Atwood Hammond moved down from 304 down to 296. So now Newman becomes the largest team in Class 1A at 301.95. Of course, they have the multiplier tagged onto them, but I don't see 1A really changing much, to be quite honest. With all of the different multipliers that have been applied so far this year, we could still see that 1A cutoff go up. I don't see 1A going down this year. If anything, Newman's either going to be the last team in the 1A field or we're going to see it go higher, is my personal opinion. And even the 2A field, you know, right now it's sitting at about 416, maybe 420-ish. And, you know, I'll start getting a better picture here. I know Susie puts out great stuff every week, but there's even in his projections, he's just trying to go off of a win model that he has and utilizes. But there's some teams that I see in his projections right now that either A, they're going to be in the playoff field and currently aren't projected in, or vice versa. So that's going to play some things to that as well. You know, I was just looking, they're starting to update the playoff outlook on IHSA's website as well. That will start getting us a bigger picture going forward. And, you know, I'll start putting out my playoff projection models here after week 5 once we get to the conclusion of that, because that's really when I like to start playing around with it, because it just gives you a better foresight moving in. But, you know, right now, Bishop McNamara for 3A would be the largest school at they're at 554.9 or something like that. Of course,
they won like 75-0 tonight.
Yeah. And right now, like I said, 2A is about 416 and 1A is sitting at Newman at 301.95. So I don't think we're going to see 1A really shift a whole lot, to be honest.
That's something, Mitch, we'll certainly talk a little bit about in our next episode. But all right, boys, I appreciate the time. This has been a great episode. Stock, you're holding your pen. What do you got?
One more thing.
Unmute.
The undercard games are very interesting next week. You talked about Monrose, Princeton, Newman Rock Ridge, Moline, Quincy, but like in the Western Big Six, you got a very interesting undercard game with UT and Geneseo. We talked about Galesburg winning. They're at Sterling next week. That's an interesting game. Orion at Riverdale is a big game. In the Lincoln Land, probably the big game in the Lincoln Land small is Anawan Weathersfield versus Rushville Industry. Also, you got EPC Dupec in the NUIC. I think that's going to be a very intriguing game. There are a lot of intriguing games next week, and it's going to be interesting to see how teams do that in these quote-unquote undercard games.
Absolutely. I could not agree more. Actually, honestly, I could not agree more. Yep. Dazzo, what else you got, man? You've been in Iowa
No,
City.
I'm good.
You're back. You're good.
Yeah, I'm good. I got one more show to do now.
Oh, yeah.
I'm getting ready to hop on with Tom Kakert to do a Iowa Post pod. So anybody who's watching this that might be interested in Iowa football,
There you go.
hop over to Off the Air, that channel, and I got about another 45 minutes of chatting to do. But it's been these football Fridays are fun. We did our show on the road today, and then up to Iowa City, back here to chat with you guys. I mean, man, what a great time of year it is, and I know it's going fast, but week 4, we still got a lot more of these to do, so it's been a lot of fun.
Love it. Awesome.
And by the way, I will be on the call in Port Byron next Friday for MC22 when they take on Orion. So that'll be a lot of. I'll hop on after I get done and chat about that game as well. So it'll be fun.
Love it. All right, Kyle, thanks for being here, buddy. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always a blast coming on. I love being on here every week. I can't believe you guys invite me every week so far.
We love it. Mitch, I invite you every week too.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Glad to be here.
Hey, we all love Mitch. I mean, come on. He is the show.
I'm a Mitch guy shirt. Like I want that to be in the next. I'm a Greg guy. I'm a Mitch guy, and see who buys more of them.
Yeah,
He
but
was the glue. Who knew?
What's that?
He
What, Mitch?
I said it's like I'm Paul Heyman. Doesn't he have Paul Heyman guy shirts?
That's
Yes.
I love
yes.
that. There you
Yeah. I don't know if he might be a heel. He might be one of the best heels of all time, Mitch.
You
We never know. We don't
That's
know.
the exciting part. You never know.
Absolutely. So.
All right, boys. Stock doesn't get it. He doesn't know what's
Stock doesn't
happening.
have no idea
Stock,
what's
we're back in the airport hangar again. Start directing those planes.
or try to catch one.
Well,
Guys,
good luck.
by next week, I'm giving Stockpile one of my microphones. So we're gonna get this thing fixed, so we don't have to deal with this every week. So,
All right,
boys,
fellas.
Please do.
Another great week. We'll see you, boys.
Later.
To everybody listening, thank you so much. We will see you. Mitch and I will be talking to you again Tuesday morning about what is coming.